Back again, baby. 31 Nights, 31 Frights, Day 2. Let's get it. This is Malevolent, a 2018 Netflix original. And first of all, the synopsis fucking ruined this film for me because the first sentence is a brother and sister team who fake paranormal encounters for cash. And I feel like if you would have just let me find that shit out for myself, it would have hit so different in the film. Whatever, let's get into the review. Like, the very first interview is with this dad and his daughter, and she's like cowering behind him, all shy, the way only children in movies do. And the brother is like, "Don't worry, we're gonna talk to your mom." Their dead mom, or whatever. And immediately I'm like, wow, what a dick. Cause I like know already that they're faking it because of the synopsis on fucking Netflix. But if the film would have just let me fucking figure that out, like, this moment would have been so much more powerful. But anyway, Florence Pugh is in it, which is funny because she's English in real life, but has an American accent in the film. But the film takes place in Glasgow, Scotland. Remember in 28 Weeks Later, when they had Rose Byrne and Idris Elba playing American soldiers stationed in Great Britain? I like shit like that. Anyway, I love Florence Pugh. I loved her in Midsommar. I can't wait to see her in Black Widow. So I will literally watch anything she is in, so here we are. Turns out Angela, played by Florence, actually does have powers that she inherited from her mom that everyone thought was crazy, and she gets a nosebleed whenever she uses them. Sound familiar? This film also does the exposition thing where the teacher will be talking about something unrelated to the story, but the themes carry over like night and day, and I don't know, I've seen enough of that at this point, you know? Like, stop the lecturer-teacher theme parallel thing, okay? It's done. Let's move on. The lack of direction in this film made up for in cinematography and acting prowess. A lot of the scenes feel disjointed in the beginning, which makes forming a timeline rather difficult up until they get to the final setting in the film. And it doesn't feel intentional like Memento or Gone Girl or something like that. It's just strange. Also, I was like 20 minutes in and I still didn't know anybody's name, but Florence Pugh's brother is a total dick. Not like in a charming way that well-written characters are. He's just way too aggressive to be likable and pretty much stays that way the entire time. He gets himself in a lot of trouble all the time and listens to these self-help books and shit. They don't do enough with these things to make an interesting character. The overall concept of the film is really cool and the premise is good. It just gets in its own way at times with how non-existent the scene transitions are and how many goddamn jump scares there are. Jump scares are fine. Sometimes. And this film has both good and bad examples of them. The sound design in this film is pretty solid, but it's ruined when it turns moments that didn't need to be jump scares into sudden jump scares with loud-ass, annoying fucking music. There's some good, genuine moments in the film, though, like how Jackson, Angela's brother, whose name I didn't learn until a good 40 minutes into the film, finally meets someone who can play his game better than him at the house that they end their investigation at, and how Angela's powers are a way for her to connect with her late and estranged mother. I also like how Jackson exhibits some of his latent ability, but is much less open to the possibility of it being a reality. The last house where basically the entire film takes place is kind of a metaphor for their karma, and how some may be more deserving of that karma than others, but the forces of nature don't discriminate or pick sides. In a very literal sense, their scamming lands them in some serious trouble, but in a more textured way, it leads these characters through their own personal discoveries and makes them face their demons. Really well placed shots, decent camera work, good makeup effects. I mean, you know, nothing I wouldn't expect from a practical standpoint from a Netflix original. However, what starts as a ghost story ends up being a Scottish Texas Chainsaw Hills Have Eyes kind of thing, and like, I just don't see how we ended up here. Like, everything up until this point builds up to a journey about accepting the things you can't control from a largely supernatural standpoint. So how did we end up at Hostel? This movie has glaring issues, and by the end it has a major identity crisis, but I don't know, maybe there's a connector I may have missed. I mean, Angela and the main antagonist of the film both suffer major losses in their lives and cope with those losses differently, but that theme of loss is not explored in a way that connects the two very different directions this film chooses to go in. So anyway, I give this movie 2 knife emojis out of 5 ghosts, because I don't know, that's what it felt like to me, to be honest. So anyway, yeah, that's it for this episode of 31 Nights and 31 Frights. Catch us again tomorrow. Like, comment, share, subscribe, click the bell icon for notifications for when we upload. We will be back tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. My name is Rainey. This has been another Hearse Boys segment, and I will see you guys next time.